Welcome back to Pixitron. Haven't done much on Pixitron lately, so I thought I would do something today to keep the series going. Can't do it every day, but I digress. Today, we're going to revisit the source code of the backend. So opening Atom was a foolish maneuver. Let's get right into that backend and let's get coding. What are we going to code today? Well, we're actually going to be doing both front and back end, so maybe it's not a bad idea that I loaded up Atom. Just get this window a little bit bigger. With my wonderful zooming methodologies now, I don't have to worry quite as much. I just have to keep this in a certain thing. Okay. What are we going to do today? Well, I only have a short amount of time, so I'm going to set up the class that handles the game settings. How are we going to do that? Well, we've got to go into probably a shred here. And we're just going to create a class called game settings. It doesn't extend, well, maybe it needs to extend something. It extends JSON model. So we're going to have to create a new utility class. We're going to stick that into modules. We're going to call it JSON model. What's a JSON model? Well, it is a class that has a single constructor that takes JSON as an input, decodes it, and then you can ask it to convert it back. What would this true be for? Well, this is PHP, and this true before the purpose of telling it to keep it in a array format. So it's not going to have a ton of stuff. All right, that's it. That's a JSON model class. No big deal. I mean, it doesn't do that much. You know, you've got your class name. It has one variable, which is data. It constructs it as JSON from JSON, so you have to pass that in. It sets values. It gets values. It removes values, entirely pruning the tree, and then it returns you the tree. We could add to database, I guess. Well, there's a couple of ways we could do this. That might work. And then That should do it. And we'll return that. Nice! Very nice, very nice. So this will allow us to retrieve something. Actually, we should have a recall. Or update. We'll call it update. Or what would we call that? Get. That's also a get. We'll call this one value. We'll call get table field. I'm not sure if we can have overloaded functions. I don't remember, but well. All right, what I'm doing here is just I'm getting data from the database, and I'm automatically going to acquire it from the database that way. And in fact, maybe it's a good idea. I mean, technically, you always, I don't know. You want to be able to use it for more than just I think that's probably better. Yeah. Yep. So that should be good. A couple of other little features stuck in there. Okay, great. JSON model done. Now let's go ahead and we're going to be creating a game settings model. And that's really all we have to do, but there's some additional stuff. So let's have a function setup. So that's like an override, really. But setup. So setup is going to set up our model to match a certain data specification. So this is where we can create that data specification. So what would that look like? Or how about so we're talking about an array here. So the array can have different values, and what are some settings? One is going to be turn time, and that's got to be set equal to, let's say, 30 seconds. I think, personally, I feel like 45 seconds a minute is fine. 30 seconds is usually 2, but we don't really know. We haven't played the game yet, so we don't know. What else are we going to have? Invite only, which keeps it off the global list. Friends only, which we'll set that to true in the beginning, or false. So we can put some notes here. So limits to invite only. Only does not appear in list. This would be limits to be seen only by friends of the player, of the host. What else we got? We got turn time limit in seconds. Random encounters. So the idea here is AI can spawn enemies during the game. And that can be a level, false or number. Well, I don't want to do that. I can do that in PHP easily, but we'll just set that to 0. Okay. What else we got? What else? I don't know. Well, there's the map. And that's going to be a number. So keeping in mind that any game that's served on the server is going to be a ranked game, this is going to be the settings for ranked games only. However, you could have an unranked game. So in the other, so once we've got this specification at a good point, there's only a few more values I can think of, but there's going to be some other data that has to be stored in there. Once we've got this in a good place, we can then take this class and use it to build a class in JavaScript that is identical to this class. And that will be used when you're playing on Steam, when the client is storing the data from the remote server, and also when you're getting data back from just a peer-to-peer play, which is probably possible. But those additional values that are important to that are going to be in the class definition for the local copy. Now, the local copy generally will not be used except in those special instances when they're using Steam, where they're playing single player, mainly single player, and then peer-to-peer as well. So those three other types of games that are not handled by the server, it has to have a fairly similar structure to it, but that will originate in the client, whereas on the server, it originates the creation of the class. So when the client receives this, it's going to know that it's from the remote, right? Because it does know what mode it's in when you select that in the menu. So for that reason, we don't have to specify where this is coming from, what IP addresses are there. And we don't have to specify what users are in it because that's stored in a different area. This is just the settings. So what else we got? Time limit. So let's say 60 minutes. It's always good to put in your unit, but we also want unlimited. So unlimited obviously would be last man standing. Unless we're playing, so game type. Here's where we need an enum. So if you remember correctly, there's an enum generator. And this is where we're going to decide what are these things going to be called. So the first is going to be last man standing. Then there's defuse the bomb. Let's shorten these. Because this side is just symbols. So Let's see, last man standing, defuse the bomb, co-op survival, and co-op explore. I think that's about it. Last man standing, last team standing. Defuse the bomb. I guess there's competitive survival. Which I think we know. We'll call that free-for-all. FFA survival. And this one is cooperative. So cooperate and explore is about defending yourself against enemies, but it's not endless. Whereas co-op survival is like endless enemies and exploration co-op. What is co-op in this sense? Well, the game is a squad-based thing, but there can be explorational elements. So maybe the goal of the game is just to unlock all of the map or to explore all of the map. Maybe we place special things in the map that they have to go to. So it's sort of like touch all the bases. And defuse bomb is like Counter-Strike. Last man standing is team versus team. And then FFA survival is free for all. I want to do a same team. But you could just do a team size of 1. Which brings to light another question. So let's get this enumerator. Oh, I need to name it. Call it multiplayer game type. Or just game type. Okay. All right. So now that we have all that, we can set the game type to last man. Squad size. Started at 4. Turn type. Or simultaneous. So, part of this game is to do, I want to do something different with the way the turns are handled, where both sides plan out their attacks simply by targeting and setting to where they're going to move, and that happens, and while that's happening, the other person has done the same thing. So, if not, it's not a very realistic game. So, personally, I feel like this is a better way, because that way you ran behind cover. That's why you weren't shot. Whereas the other type of game is he's standing behind cover, so I can't shoot him until I move, which is less. I mean, that's certainly something, but it's not exactly. It would be better if, because what if I didn't end in cover and you didn't end in cover? Well, that very rarely happens in those other types of games, so I wanted to make it a little bit different. Okay. What else? Squad size. Team. teams. So it's head-to-head or number of teams required to start game. Or number of teams desired to start game. And then obviously more than 2 is fine, but and then ready only or require teams. Require all teams. Well, we'll say true. And then auto ready. Auto ready. Well, the host will do that. That's more of a button. What else? I think there is one more, or there's probably other settings. I don't really know what they would be. This is pretty advanced in and of itself. A lot of features here. So a lot of features there, and then there might be something else. There's probably some settings that are for each game type, so let's see if we can think of that. So so let's see. So bomb time is in minute or in seconds. So how long does the bomb go? So we'll do 5 minutes. I don't know if that's long or not. Maybe even like less time. But all right. Require all teams. Wait, there's defuse the bomb. There's actually another type here, which is plant the bomb. So defuse the bomb is like whoever defuses it first. So, good deal. All right. Okay. So then bomb time. I don't know, 10, 5. I don't even know what these things really mean yet. Require all teams. When off, game can be started by host before all teams arrive. And that's good. Wait, Explorer just said plant the bomb. Cooperate and explore. Really need a separate. Well, we'll see about that. Bomb timer, exploration spots. Survival level. Start that at 0. And then that's it. Okay. Well, we built our little class, and it will store and be retrieved in the database. It hasn't been added to the logic yet, but I've got to get going. Thank you so much for watching. Pixitron, please support us, like us, Patreon us, and keep in mind that this channel is not affiliated with any companies. It's just a person on YouTube and his friends making stuff. We're not trying to play the advertiser game that a lot of channels are into these days. And we're just here to make cool stuff and have you be compelled to watch it because it's just so interesting. Please like, comment, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. See you later.